Can I join either way? I'm tier 1. I'm not the person you have to ask to join. You have to at arrow. But we're finally in the session. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the penultimate round of this inaugural championship. We're here for round 11 in Qatar. Obviously, both championships have been crowned. Cookie won the drivers' championship. Didn't even need to turn up. And the constructors, well, that was wrapped as well, thanks to the sole force of Kevin Cow. Who's going to be first out? It's going to be the Red Bull of Kevin Cow. What's the prediction? So Qatar's one of the more qualifying dependent circuits. And you're talking about the fact that you need to be able to overtake. It's a more hard to overtake around here. My hair is having a spasm. I'll brush that tomorrow. So Kevin Cow, first man out on track. Followed behind is the Aston Martin. Then the Ferrari of the last season world champion Arrow. And then the Alpine of Ty Clear. Then the McLaren of Pablo's got a podium in his maiden race. Oven Chips in the Haas will be next. And then the other Ferrari of Young Himi Dives. And the Sole Mercedes of Ollie JL. Then the Sauber of Pyrex Kings, who should be in the Alpine, really. Probably a penalty after the race, if I had to guess. For failing to choose the correct car. Then it is going to be the other Haas of Gordon. Then the V-Cup of Nisev, who's running no assists, so he might be a terrorist. Then it will be Mallard. Then it will be the Williams, Michael Louise, and then the driver finally can't admit, Hossein Men. So we'll go on board with the driver who crowned Red Bull the constructors champions. All 14 cars are now on track, and our first one has just begun their first qualifying lap, going down towards the first corner. The Aston will be ahead of him into turn number 1 we go. Where's the Red Bull driver, putting that battery pack down to around 65%, then through turn number 2, then flat through turn number 3, and down towards the right, the double right of turn 4 and turn number 5. Slight lift off, then straight back on the throttle, and then it's going to be flat out around turn 5, and then towards the first, the only, or the one of very, very little heavy braking zones around this Qatar circuit. Through turn number 7 we go, with Kevin Cow drifting out a little bit wider, but using that exit apex through turn number 8, turn number 9, and then towards turn number I've already lost 7, 8, 9, 10. Through turn 10, and then flat through 11. And then towards the flat out complex of turn 12. Turn 13, 14, 15, and 16 await Kevin Cow. Will he keep it on the road? This is probably the most track limit track is really out there, to be honest. There is an Aston who is just giving that Ferrari dirty air through the penultimate corner. Over the line we go. What is the benchmark? It's a 22.4 over to last season's champion. WHS Arrow will cross the line and it will snatch that away straight away. Next up will be Ty Clear, and he goes into the top 3 there. Then it's going to be Tori, who has invalidated. His teammates just begun a lap. Then it'll be Pablos, who will be powering to the line now to take provisional pole with a 21.653. Then it's going to be Ollie in the Mercedes. He goes 4th. Young Himi Dimes up next will take provisional pole by 1 singular millisecond. Then it'll be the Haas, and then sorry, the Sauber into 6th, and then Gordon. Where can he put his Haas over the line? Slots into P3, and the top 3 are split by 3 milliseconds. That is the closest you have ever seen it. The game says 2 milliseconds, but it is 3 milliseconds. Very, very close qualifying here. Where can Michael Louise? Can he slot himself within 5 milliseconds off pole position? He goes up the line. It's nowhere near it. It's a 22.428. He slots himself into P6. Oven Chips is powering on, as is Nisev and Hossein Men. So we'll go with Hossein Men going through turn. Actually, Ty Clear might be going again. Ty Clear is going again through turn 15 towards turn number 16. That Red Bull doesn't even make sure he gets out of the way. Goes into the gravel by choice. Round the final corner, and Ty Clear for his first proper run. Obviously 8/10 from the second fastest, second slowest time, and he jumps up into the top 7 there. Next up will be Hossein Men. Over the line he goes into the top 10. Next up will be Oven Chips. Nisev has invalidated. So Oven Chips will come over the line now. The Haas driver can rise to the top 9 with a 22.621. And I believe that is the first runs done and dusted. Nisev invalidated his time. Only 2 drivers have won races so far this season. And you're looking at one of them. Nisev's got 3 race wins and Cookie's got 7. We've had 10 rounds. We're on round 11. Will we finally get a different race winner? It's been Red Bull powertrain dominated. Racing Bulls and Red Bull have conquered it all this season. Constructors and drivers was run by Oracle Red Bull Racing, the main team. So now we gotta wait once again. I think Michael Louise is actually going on once again. Excuse me. Down towards the first corner. These final 2 races really are just for the joy of the race, and obviously no championships on the line now due to the fact that they are both being confirmed. But it is now just for pride who can take the win and pole and the wins within the final 2 seasons. Out of turn 3 towards turn number 4 we go with Michael Louise, and then towards turn number 5, and then towards the heavy braking on turn 6. How much is it going to be up at the end of the first sector? 5 milliseconds up on his personal best. The game says that is purple, but he needs at least another 1/10 if he is to get anywhere near the top 5. Then he needs to find a half a second if he is to get near WHF Arrow. Top 4, they're split by 0.087, so if you're rounding it, 900ths split the top 4. If you're de-rounding it, 800ths split the top 4. End of the middle sector, and he is 2/10 up. This will be looking good for Michael Lewis. He'll be looking for around P5 at the moment. Needs a lot more if it is to be challenging for pole. Quebec already at almost in the midpoint of the 126, or in the 121, sorry. Out of the final corner we go with Michael Louise on the Williams, empowering towards the line now. Where can the Williams go as Hitman is going to get a lovely tow? Michael Louise lost time in that final sector and falls down into P6. Next up will be Tory on his first valid time if he doesn't validate out the final corner. A bit wider of the apex than you would have ideally wanted, but up another line we go with Tory in the Aston, and he goes slowest overall with a 23.115. And now it's Hitman up next in the Chrome McLaren, looking to take it to the top. His teammate 1 millisecond from the top, and Hitman will be looking to join him. McLaren, we know, what have been competitive in 2025 in the game. From when I've been watching league racing, McLaren always seems to be the team that's struggling, unless it's a realistic league. But that he looks like he's really flicking that car. But his front end does not want to bite. The front end sliding mid corner. Maybe a lack of anti-roll bar or something there, or the suspension set up wrong, or just not enough front grip to that car. Maybe the tyres aren't ready. He's off the road and invalidating his time. He goes. So he will not be improving. Will it be Mallard up next, or could it actually be young Himmy Dimes? Or no, it'll be Arrow, who has already got enough of an improvement if he is to take original pole. Pirates Kings as well is improving ahead of Arrow. So we're going to be focusing on Pirates King. Sorry if I do miss anyone else finishing a lap. Kevin Cow is around the final corner to begin a lap. He's 4.5 up is Pirates King. This will be looking for around where Kevin Cow is. Arrow might be getting a very distant tow. He validates his time. So we're going to straight away focus to last season's champion Arrow now. round the final corner. Will not pick up any slipstream. He will power towards the line, and it's definitely going to be provisional pole. But what the gap gear is a 21.368. The last season champion takes provisional pole, and it's now over to his teammate, who I think is diving into the pit lane. Oven Chips has just begun a lap, so now we watch the Sev, who has picked up a couple poles ever since his maiden one back in Silverstone. Converted his second pole to a win last time out in Sao Paulo. Out the final corner, getting all loosey-goosey towards the line. We go with Sev to go onto the front row there. Marginally behind Arrow, but it is the Season 4 champion currently sat on provisional pole, but for how much longer? Because Pablos is down on his time. Is he on used tyres or is he on brand spanking new ones? Out of the final corner we go with the McLaren. Has he found any time in the final sector? Crossing the line now, and it is 3 milliseconds from his best time. He is so close to it all. Kevin Cow will be up next. He can improve his time by 10.5, but doesn't improve position. What about Gordon now? Gordon in the shout for pole as well. Gordon in the Haas over the line now to go to provisional pole by 12 milliseconds. So now we're going to look to Ollie, who is on a out lap. And then it's going to be Ty Clear, I believe, in the Alpine. One of the Division 2 drivers is racing in D1 for a change. Where can Ty Clear put his Alpine? Powering over the line now. Ty Clear will cross the line, put himself into the top 6 there. Good lap by the Alpine. Then it will be Oven Chips, who will next cross the line. Improves by 3.5 tenths to go into the top 8 there. So it is currently now Gordon on provisional pole. Chucked himself into the ballpark. Pablos will probably be thinking that there isn't a lot of time. There isn't a lot of time because I think he was 3 milliseconds from his PB. As his teammate Hitman is on a Alam, the sole driver left to have not set a time. So Pablos and the McLaren will come into this lap and rethink of what to do next. Kevin Cow currently in the top 7 for the Red Bull team, the sole Red Bull here this evening. Oven Chips as well. As what has happened there? The timing page has a little bit of a lagging moment. Oh. There's a McLaren who is not meant to be here. Wow. So Ollie into the pit lane. Michael Louise will go with him. Michael Louise will go around turn number 1. Turn 2. And then towards turn number 3. And towards turn number 4 we go with the Williams driver. Sorry, I'm going to commentate this for a second. So Michael Louise, the sole driver, out on track. He is currently 2.5 tenths up, looking to go around where Ty Clear is at this current moment in time, towards turn number 15 for what could be his final time in qualifying. Towards the final corner of the race we go with the Williams driver. Obviously updated livery because you've got the bits on the indent of the side pods. Where can Michael Louise put his Williams car? He crosses the line now and goes into the top 6 there, 10.5 from Pavlos in the McLaren. I didn't actually notice that. Mallard on an out lap, so he will be beginning his next go. And through turn 2 we go with F1 Mallard through turn 3 and then towards turn number 4 and towards number 5. No, yeah, 4 and 5, sorry. Through 5 and now towards turn number 6. The Mercedes driver currently second slowest of the set times. so far. Through turn 6 we go, and then towards turn number 7. 3 minutes 17 left on the clock. Michael Lee will be racing back to try and get one more go and one more hurrah for a shout at pole. Needs to find 4.5 tenths of a second if he is to do so. Michael Louise, that is. We are on about through turn number 10. Then we'll go flat through turn number 11. I think he's actually got George Russell's helmet on. Or he's just customised that himself. And if he has done that, fair play. Because I actually think that is George Russell's helmet. I'm not actually too sure. No, it isn't George Russell's helmet. I'm not actually too sure. The game says he's purple in the middle sector. Where can Mallard go in the Mercedes? Can he put it on pole like George Russell was back in last year? Didn't qualify on pole, but he started there due to the penalty. Hitman has now left the session, so thankfully he won't be a part. It won't be a factor in this race, and Mallard can go into the top 10 as now we look to the Aston Martins. Hossein and Tori will go with each other, so it'll be the Aston Martins up first after Mallard. Excuse me. Down towards turn number 4 and turn number 5 we go with Sori. 1 minute 57 left on the clock. These are definitely the final goes unless you invalidate and you can recharge, and if you have the fuel. 2 tenths of a second up already is Sori. The Aston Martins are currently the slowest qualifiers of drivers who have set a lap so far. The Red Bull Kevin Carroll gets out of the way nicely. Number 41 on the Aston Martin. Reverse numbers of Fernando Alonso's number 14. But flat through 9 towards turn number 10 we go with the Aston Martin. Lime green helmet for a dark green car. The Ferrari of young Henry Dimes gets out of the way nicely. It's just there's a Williams there. Michael Louise, who has just exited the pit lane with not a lot of time left on the clock. But we now go towards turn 15 and towards turn 16 off the road. We go with Sori. Keeps the lap. Somehow he's kept the lap. Lucky him. As out of the final corner we go with Sori. 1 minute left on the clock, so all Michael we make it over the line we go. With the Aston Martin, it's barely brought him any time. Hossein has invalidated, but he will be giving it one last hurrah. So now it's going to be Nisev up next. It will be Nisev. The man currently P3 needs half a tenth. Just under half a tenth actually, to take provisional pole. Would like a bit more than just under half a tenth, but he would like a big margin there. Almost on the track limits there on the mid corner between 4 and 5. He is 300 down on his PB, flicking the car in through turn number 6. He's running no assists, I believe, for one of the first times as he goes through turn number 7. One of the more easier tracks, really. This is for NA, but still one of a better learning place. Through turn 10 we go with the V-Cub. Was on pole last time out. Can he make it 2 poles in a row for the first time in his WHF career? Towards the end of the middle sector we go, and he is 2 tenths of a second up. It's an almighty middle sector, finding 2.5 tenths in that middle sector. We could be aiming for the 120s, but it will take an almighty final sector to get there. Out of turn 15 towards turn number 16 for the final time in qualifying with Nisev. We go out of the final corner for the final time, and the man looking to take 2 poles in a row is gunning for pole today, and he's going to do it with a 21.250 over to the Red Bull with Kevin Cowell. Can he dislodge the V-Cub from pole? Over the line he goes, only into P7. Pyrox Kings now in the kick sound. The slow Aston behind him. Pyrox Kings over the line. Goes into the top 8. Then it's going to be Gordon. The man who was on provisional pole is looking to reclaim the pole crown. Crossing the line we go. It's Gordon. It's back onto pole position once more. Now we're going to be looking to Arrow, who's invalidated. We're now going to be looking to Pablos. Can he dislodge Gordon on pole position? Over the line we go. Wisdom McLaren. He can go into the top 3 there. Arrow has invalidated his time. So it's all over to young Himmy Dimes. Can he take it away from Gordon? Can the Ferrari roar to pole once more? Can the Prancing Horses prance their way to the top once more over the line? And it's only good enough for P5, unless it's Michael Louise doing anything like he can't. It is Gordon on pole position. We haven't said that in a while. Gordon on pole, Nisev alongside him, and Pablos in the top 3 once more. Jack has just joined in time, so he needs to get in quick. So I haven't actually had Twitch chat up, so let's see what's been let's see what's been said in Twitch chat. Absolutely nothing. Right, so Qatar, 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. In the floodlights, it's 5 out, and away we go towards the first corner, and it seems to be a decent start by the V car. They're side by side, medium through the hard tyres. Into turn 1 we go, and Randy outside Gordon will try to hold the race lead. Gordon keeps the lead, and then on the inside, Pablos is trying to get involved. The wheels almost tyre locking, looking around the outside to take second place in the race. He will have the inside for turn 3. It's then going to be side by side towards turn 4. There's a Haas and a Mercedes down at the back on the inside of turn number 4, and then it's going to be the inside once more for turn number 5. Forces is rather wide and gets through on the inside. Now this will just have to stay tucked up behind, as the Ferrari of young Himmy Dimes has lost a place to Michael Louise as well, as he runs wide. In the Williams down towards turn number 7 we go, and it is Gordon who leads from Pablos in the 7th, Arrow and Michael Louise. Young Himmy Dimes lost a place, and then as well as Pirates Kings. With that we can now have a look at positions gained, as well as there is Pulse has kept the lead, and Arrow staying involved. Clear has kept his place. And there's the Guttis car of Hitman as well. So it is Gordon back into the lead of a race rostrum for the first time in God knows how long here in WHF, as out of turn 15 towards the final corner we go. For the first time at 29 laps round turn 16 we go, and Gordon leads us down this long back straight down towards turn number 1 we go once more. And there is just in the slipstream. Arrow is on the hard tyres as well. It has to get tyres up as well, because this is normally interesting. The strategy here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 cars on the hards, and then the other 8 on the medium compound of tyres. As now these two will probably just want to work together to try and gap Nisev behind. Obviously, ultimate lap to put off the mediums is lap number 12. Fuel is a fuel burner, and he won at least 2.5 laps over. As Pablos almost losing DRS there to Gordon. Gap now 7/10 of a second, but I think he's going to try and use his battery to try and gap Nisev. That gap is just was just over 8/10 of a second. We go through turn number 10 for the second time in this race, and the only overtaken opportunities are really going to be into turn number 1. For the most part, it's going to be single file stuck in the dirt. Yeah, it's the first time I've seen a league race around here on F1 25, so I don't actually know how the cars behave in the dirty air around here, but you can just see in the slipstream, you don't really get affected all that much from dirty air in the slight right flat corners, but then it's going to be through the more medium speed corners where you will start to pick up understeer. This serves actually closed up quite a bit. He's got to get down to half a second as we get on the power. The top 9 all in DRS. We're going down the main straight towards turn number 1 once again, and Powers is gaining in the toe of Gordon, but Gordon keeps the lead into turn number 1. No side-by-side action there, but we can see side-by-side further behind as Pirate Skins wanted to defend that, and Hossein men on the inside, and there's contact between the pair from wide. Goes the Aston, they're going to keep it side by side. Horsing his rival wide, and then diving on the inside. Pirate Skins does back out of it after quite the questionable driving there by the Aston Martin driver, but at least he's got his way back up into the top 10 there. Mallard all over the heels of Tory, who goes miles off the track, and then Mallard himself cuts the corner there. Donovan Chips is now just thinking, oh god, I'm stuck behind these lot for a little while longer, as he gets maybe a little out of shape under the braking. As towards turn 10 we go, what's what? It seems to be in the middle sector. Gordon does gap away, then in this final sector the McLaren seems to close all that much back in. Here you can see Gordon's got his battery on, but it's turned it off now. And he's going to watch from the rear, just look at how much that McLaren closes in. He's already gained a tenth. Gone back up a little bit now, and then we go through turn numbers 15 towards turn 16 for the third time in this race. So, out of the final corner we go. 7.5 tenths split the top two. We go down the main straight on board with the only race winner who is racing today. This is the only driver apart from Cookie, as this seems to be almost side by side for the race lead there. Babos using his battery and got very, very close. Got within a tenth of Gordon in the Haas. What I was saying, that Nisev is the only race winner this season who is on track at this moment in time. Cookie, obviously, he's won 7 races this year. The most dominant season, you could say it is. You could say that Cookie's championship win this season is the most dominant it's ever been. Ollie's just has just fallen out of DRS to the Ferrari ahead of him. As Owen Chips is through on Tory now, and then he's the first there, both synchronising and getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits here. On board, we're going to stay on board with the McLaren now. We saw it from the rear of Gordon, but now going to see it from the front of the McLaren. Down, flat through 11, towards turn number 12, 13, 14 and 15. Through 12, through 13, and then 14 here, and then 15. We could see our first change of race lead proper. Round turn 15 we go. He's got to stay close as the battery levels 30% difference, but out of the final corner we go. Will Gordon look to defend us? We'll watch from the rear to see how much closer the speed there is. Will Gordon try to defend this? Pavlos will be gaining in the slipstream, gaining on the Haas. Is Gordon going to try to defend this? Yes, he does. He calls out to the inside, but the McLaren's already there on the inside to take the lead here in Qatar. The Losail circuit has seen our first change of lead today, and it's the McLaren, the wonder from Brazil, who had his moment at Junção, is now leading a race once more. Now it's really the first chance that Pablos gets to use his pace in the clean air. Ollie's our latest driver to pick up a 3-second time. Only like 5 and 4 drivers have already bit the dust with not getting a track penalty. Hossein men has picked up another 3-second. On 6-second penalty already. Hossein men having a torrential start to this opening 5 laps here. Through turn 10 we go, and then Gordon will just look to keep with the McLaren driver. You can see the top 6 were all momentarily in that same picture. You can see the Ferrari slightly in the back there. Michael Louise maybe starting to lose out as well on WHF Arrow, but these top 3 seem to be the sole focus of pace at this moment in time. Himmy Dimes is the latest one to pick up a penalty for track limits. So a 6-car train, and Arrow seems to be close to the rear of Nisev, but I don't think there's going to be any move done into turn number 1. And Pablos is using his battery. Gordon's gaining. Will we see a defensive shape thrown? He throws it to the inside. Gordon will look around the outside, side by side, through turn number 1 for the second time in this race. And Gordon's shown the door there. The door was slammed shut as Gordon tried to retake the lead, and Pablos said, no thank you, I want this clean air. As Michael Louise is now falling out of DRS from Arrow in front of him. The top 4 seem pretty much nose to tail there. Guys, look at this. Nisev, all over the tail of our pole sitter. He's going to look around the outside. Maybe a question of moving under braking there by Gordon in the Haas, but it keeps our place after a little bit of oversteer. He's now going to be gaining once more, and he's now going to throw it down the inside, but Gordon can brake late enough to then go offline. Now we get on the traction on the exit of turn number 7, down towards turn number 8 and turn number 9. we go with Nisev. He's not close enough. Is he going to chuck it down the inside once more? Yes, he does. Almost contact. There is contact. Wheels touch between the pair of them, but no harm done. And they all keep single file now towards the flat-out complex of 12, 11, 12, 11, my God, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and 15, 14, sorry. Arrow really had front row seats to that. But Pavlos might be in danger of losing 2 positions here. Might need to try and break the toe. In the slipstream once more. The Haas is coming once more. And towards turn 1 once more. He's looking for the move once more. As towards turn 1. Fakes to the outside. Dives down the inside. But once again, the McLaren can break late enough. And Pavlos is able to keep that lead here in Qatar. Once again, he's able to break later than the Haas and keep that lead. And once again, slamming the door shut. And no way through for Gordon. And now you can just see Gordon trying to get some clean air to cool that engine down. Because that is a major factor in racing now, as Michael Louise has caught back up. So that'll be that. Hilly Dines will be very, very happy for that. But look how close they are, rear lock in there by Nisev. That's what happens when you get all that close. Tori already into the box for his first pit stop. We've got the top 3 split by just over half a second now. We go through turn number 8 and we're going to see a throw to the inside. No, the dirty air. Look at the understeer he picked up there in turning. Then we go flat through turn 11, 12, 13 and 14 once more. We go through turn number 11, turn 12. Is this all flat despite how close you are in the dirty air? No, this part is not. A major lift there by the V-carb. As round turn 15 towards turn 16 we go once more, and Pablos just uses that battery strategically to try and eke out that gap before the entry point. As wide goes Gordon. Now this could invite Nisev, but if he's got that slipstream, which isn't really a major factor in league racing, once more Gordon is catching. Pablos knows already he's going to have to try and defend this. Gordon's going to go to the outside once more, but it's probably maybe a hopeless look to the outside. Nisev will be licking his lips, seeing these two scrap, because she's going to keep eking him closer and closer to the top 2. We then get on the power on the exit of 2, flat through 3 towards turn number 4, but Nisev hasn't got the battery to do so. As now Gordon's going to look down on the inside on the McLaren. He's side by side, but isn't able to make the move. Wide goes Nisev, and could this invite Arrow now? No, he doesn't invite Arrow. Zori picks up a 3-second penalty. As we saw, Gordon went wide there, but Nisev did as well. And Nisev maybe had a chance there to turn 6. But due to that understeer being that close in the dirty air, wasn't able to do so. Lap 8 at 29 already. Laps flying on by here in Qatar. The top 5 haven't got a track limit penalty yet, so it is all still to play for. As Pirates Kings picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That is karma for not picking the right car. We go through 12, 13, and 14. I keep going to count down instead of up. Now the question is, maybe he needs that extra 1/10 of a second gained in these 2 corners to be able to get a chance to get properly side by side like we saw on lap 6 and lap 7. Out the final corner on lap 8 to begin lap number 9, and this is the closest he's been since lap number 6. As down towards turn number 1 we go. Gordon is gaining once more. He's gaining the switch in. Pablos once again defends that inside line. Gordon once again looks around the outside. He's going to try and hang this out around the outside, but once again going to try to switch back, but isn't able to do so, and Gordon stays in second place. And Pablos, this is a great defensive drive so far after he took the lead in the early stages of this race, using that DRS and battery to full effect. But then what his plan seems to be here, after he got the lead, uses the battery as wide goes Gordon. Now this could invite Nisev. Look at the run he's got, and Gordon knows he has to defend this. Nisev's going to dive down the inside, but Gordon breaks late enough to not be able to be under pressure there. And is that another assist coming into play here with Nisev not confident enough to brake late with no ABS, as that seemed a bit of one line. Maybe he'd have to try and get the better exit, as Arrow had a little bit of a moment there. He's got a full battery pack though, as has Pavlos and Gordon. So Arrow, due to his full battery pack, might be able really to use that battery, close up to Nisev, and then have a level battery down the main straight, and then try and challenge for it. But look, these two pretty much absolutely similar here. Nisev and Arrow on the hard combat tyres, as well as young Hilly Dimes. These will be a factor later on in the race when they're on the medium compound tyres. But for the most part, you've got 3 laps to go until the pit window is open 3 laps now. But once again, Gordon's gaining once again. And once again, Pablos is going to that inside. And once again, Gordon's looking around the outside. And he's got his nose there and they're side by side once again. But Pablos slams that door shut. And Pablos in the McLaren is able to keep the lead once again. As Michael Louise seems to be all under all sorts of pressure. Gorham Young, here he died, but we're going to go. Watching this battle once again as Nisev's gaining once again, but he's got no battery to do so. Through the turn 4 and turn 5 we go. No move looking to be done so there, but once again he gets the run and he's going to look to the outside once again. Nisev tries to break lane, maybe trying the switchback through turn 6. Those hard tires will be coming into play as Nisev's gaining on the Gordon once again, but isn't close enough to make a dive on the inside at turn number 7 there. But then will he get a run through 8 and turn 9 towards turn number 10? Don't think he is able to there. I'm going to quickly get the track map up so I can make sure I'm getting the correct amount of corners. As we're in a bit of a stalemate, as we're going through sector 3 where there is absolutely nil overtaking happening. F1 schedule Qatar. So through for what I've been saying is turn 15. I am right. This is turn 16. The final corner is turn 16. So I have been right this whole time. Why am I doubting myself? Wide, a bit wide, but as you understand, Gordon went. This has basically been the exact same distance it has been. Michael Louise is first to dive into the pit lane. So Michael Louise is going for that undercut, and Gordon's going to the inside. The race leaders who have been 1-2 since the start and now side by side locking tyres. Now it's going to be the outside line for Gordon, running outside of turn 2, but isn't able to do so. He is sniffing the gearbox on the McLaren as we go flat through 3 towards turn 4. Isn't close enough once again as now Nisev's on the inside, down the inside at turn number 4. It's then the inside for 5, and through goes Nisev into the top 2 there and looking to take the race lead once more. Gordon went for glory, is now down into third and will be into the clutches of WHF Arrow. Sooner or later, Arrow's got to do what Nisev did and just pick up the pieces of the lead scrap. The positive thing here for Pablos, the battery. The battery is also different. Pablos could use so much more battery than the V-carb. He will not be under threat. And we've seen that you look at this. Gordon getting very close. And then the dirty air kicks in once again. As where has Michael Louise come out in a bunch of clean air there. Just ahead of Ollie, really. There's your tyres then. Ollie has, I think Ollie's actually undercut his way back into this lead fight. As into the pits comes Pablos off the medium compounder tyre. So Nisev takes the lead here in Qatar. Gordon will be gaining once again. Is he going to look to the inside? But he's not close enough to make that dive. You should see how much later that Nisev can break. Those medium tyres are not looking all that great. So where does Pablos come out in correlation to this man? Michael Louise might actually be under pressure by Ollie come the final corner. A little bit of oversteer there by Ollie as down towards turn number 1 we go. Where is Pablos? There is Michael Louise. This will be very, very tight. In the turn 1 we go, and into turn 1 we go. It is Pablos who just keeps keeps the net race lead there. Okay, right, you can hear me. Okay, right. Hello. Radio check. I think you can hear me now. Probably should keep Twitch open now, so hopefully you can. Right, back to it. I don't actually know what happened there. Twitch had a divvy moment. But we're here and we're racing once again. Nisev leads by 2 seconds almost. He's absolutely checked out from the Ferraris here. As Pablos is just leading this train here. Gordon on 3-lap younger tyres then Michael Louise. Gordon's just at the fastest first second. The average yellow flag was off. It's young Himmy Dimes. It's a front left puncture. Young Himmy Dimes in the Ferrari is off. What the hell was that? Something happened with the timing page. I don't know what happened, but young Himmy Dimes has got a puncture here in Qatar. Young Himmy Dimes got the puncture at turn 8, where you saw back in 2021 a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. I don't know what he's doing. He's just driving on the gravel. He's rally crossing at this point. An Arrow instantly comes to the pit lane. He does not want to risk that. So Himmy Dimes' race is over in a flash. It is now Arrow into the pit lane. Where is he going to come out in correlation to Pyox, in comparison to Pablos? It should be behind these lot and should be behind Ollie. It will be tight. It won't be tight. Through goes the Mercedes into the top 5 there. So then the question is now, has Arrow got the pace in those brand new tyres to undercut Nisev? Because as it stands at the moment, Nisev will be right to the rear of Ollie when they exit the pit lane. So, young Himmy Dimes has retired. Such an unfortunate way to end. Yana was right about this game being the worst. Yeah, it is. Young Himmy Dimes, can you check on the Twitch? Can you check what happened to that previous stream? Because I had to restart the stream because everything died. Nisev is in the pit lane. His tires look a lot smoother. So Nisev will dive into his pit box to go on to a set of the brand new medium combat tyres, trying to cover off from this undercut by WHF Arrow. The question is though, where will he be in comparison to Arrow? He's not going to be in the race lead. He'll be nowhere near that. He'll have a couple laps to go. You can see Arrow going down the main straight. It's going to be quite close with Ollie and Nisev, and Nisev is behind Ollie, but crucially ahead of Arrow here in Qatar. And track position is key, because you saw from Pablos, you are able to keep the car behind you if you just use your battery efficiently, which we saw magnificently from the McLaren drivers. Very wide there went Nisev. I think my eyes wasn't deceiving me. But we're here with the lead fight. 3.6 seconds between Gordon and Nisev. He needs to dispatch of Ollie in very, very quick fashion. And he's going to look for the inside. Will he just wait for the main straight? He's going to take that wide line, try and get the better exit on the exit of the corner. He's gaining on Ollie. He pulls out to the inside, almost hits the rear right tyre. Pulls out to the inside. They're going to go side by side through here, are they? No, they went side by side momentarily. And Nisev is through into the top 4 as Arrow is next up to get through. Mainly barged his way through on Ollie, but it is Nisev into the top 4, Arrow into the top 5, and these two now need to work together to hunt down Gordon. 5-lap difference in tyre race just shows the stream dying. I'll just come join the commentary box at this point. I don't think it'll pick your audio up, because I seem to have an issue with this, where I put party chat on and it picks absolutely nothing up. We can try it if you want. But up to you. Through turns number 4 and 5 we go. Towards turn number 6 we go with your race leaders. Pavlos leads the way from Michael Louise and Gordon, and Nisev's already gained a full bloody second on Gordon. Welcome in, Himmy Dimes. I'm going to... Alright, now speak, because I don't know if it's going to pick... I don't know if it's going to pick you up or not. That is bold by Tori. He's onto a set of the soft compounder tyres with 10 to go. Right, say something. No. Brilliant. Don't know what it is with me. You can listen to Prime Peter Maris. Right. Out the final corner down the main straight we go, and it seems to be Gordon's closest to Michael Louise than Michael Louise is to Gordon. You think Gordon draining his battery down the main straight. He's gaining in the slipstream of Michael Louise, but into towards turn number 1. Will he make a late lunge to the inside? 2.5 tenths behind. As Arrow is now through on this Sev. Brand new fastest lap of this race for Arrow. Only Michael Louise and Gordon haven't got track limit penalties though. I don't know. I completely turned a blind eye. I did not even see when Nisev, Arrow, or Pablos picked up a 3-second time penalty. It might have been when I had all that stream kerfuffle going on, because what I've realised, it says that the stream length was 36 days, 7 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds. I can't remember the last time I streamed for 36 days. Simply lovely, that is. So, Gordon is really thinking, it's already a matter of time, I think, before Gordon gets Pablos. Pablos just needs to extend his margin as much as he can, because again, it's going to be a matter of, it's basically a matter of time. It's a matter of time when Gordon gets Michael Louise, and it'll be a matter of time when these two, who are hunting down the top 3, a bit much like Singapore in 2023, 2 drivers on the brand new medium compound tyres, hunting down drivers on those dying hard compound tyres. But we know that because it's F125, we know those mediums are going to die down ever so soon. But we know Pablos has got the 3-second time limit, so Michael Louise is actually your net race leader here. And Gordon will be gaining in the slipstream once again, but he's just not close enough. He ain't got the straight line speed, he's using his battery, but the slipstream effect in this game is absolutely nothing here in Qatar. Well, it's here in general. As side by side we go with Arrow and the Sev. And Arrow concedes 5th, so concedes 4th, sorry. So Nisev is going to be first up to attack these hard compound tyre runners. It is very crucial who goes first in the pecking order to attack these hard compound runners, because when you can start, whoever filters through first, it's then going to be harder for the second one to get through, because those tyres will get even older than they already are. They might start to struggle within the next 3 to 4 laps on the medium compound tyres, because we saw, you saw the Ferrari on lap 17 get a puncture. Hard luck for him. I thought it was a lot earlier when I thought it was lap 15 when he got the puncture, but no, it wasn't. I was just being a idiot. But now we're going to stay on board with Nisev through 12, 13 and 14. We're actually going to stay on board with him until turn number 1, unless I notice a change of race lead upcoming. Round turn 15 we go, and maybe another traffic limit warning there for Nisev. It's really just the top. It's basically been this top 5 this whole race, not including Young Henry Dimes, of course. He has retired from this race, looking for maiden victory. Will not be able to taste that today. Nisev is gaining in the stretch. You see Gordon pulling out to the inside, try and get some clean air into that Ferrari-powered car. You've got 6, 7, 8, 9 different teams within the top 9. The only team with 2 drivers in the top 10. As there's wide and through goes Nisev, running outside of turn 3 and in towards turn 4. Gordon is failed to keep the V car behind. Nisev is through into the top 3, and he's got 1 down, 2 to go if he is to claim on-track race lead here in Qatar tonight. Round turn 6 we go towards turn number 7. We go on board once again with the V car. You can see how much more grip he's got. Once again, a mistake there by Gordon has let through Nisev for the second time. He's been overtaken in towards the straight before turn 4. And now it's just going to be a question of when can Nisev get by Michael Louise. Michael Louise has got the oldest tyres of the bunch so far. I'm going to put up tyre data for you now. Yeah, you see 11 laps on the hard for Michael Louise, 10 laps on the hard for Pablos, only 4 laps on those mediums for Nisev. Look how much Michael Louise has closed up as he then goes wide, and Arrow picks up another penalty. So if Arrow was in contention for race victory, that is completely done and dusted. But look how hard the traction is for the Williams driver. He gets to tow Michael Louise, but then Nisev, has he got the straight line speed? He hasn't. Now Michael Louise will have to try and defend this. What way would he go? Inside or outside? He moves to the inside, but Nisev's brave enough to dive on the inside and go through on the Williams. 2 down, 1 to go here in Qatar, as now here comes Gordon trying to get in on the action. As round 10, 5 we go, and drifting away and spinning round goes Arrow. The Ferrari, the second one, is sent spinning and drifting away. He's hit the rear of Gordon, and he is sent tumbling down the order, and is now going to be probably looking at over his shoulder to not finish in the top 6. Hard luck here in Qatar for Ferrari after such a high Brazil. It's now just... It's now just looking over their shoulder to make sure they can even try and get a top 5 finish. Lap 23 of 29, and there is another driver out of the order for the lead fight. It is now the top 2 have got 3-second time penalty, so still it is Michael Louise in that race lead. But could these two actually try and work together somewhat? The hard tyres will come back, but it's just a question of when will they come back. Obviously the hard tyres are not as overpowered as they were in the previous game, so maybe they won't actually come out. Maybe mediums are faster throughout. He's using battery once more. Is Nisev towards the final corner of the racetrack we go. Nisev will take a slower entry to get a better exit, but the McLaren seems to get a better run. But is that tactics by the McLaren to get some DRS? And I'll tell you what, the tactics have worked a treat. Pablos has got DRS by out that car. Down towards turn number 1 we go once again with Nisev. We're going towards the inside, but isn't close enough to get to the inside. And Michael Louise is still your net race leader, your pole sitter, currently running in 4th. Anyone in chat? No one in chat whatsoever. So Pablos just needs to keep this up. I think he's accepted he will not be winning this Grand Prix unless he feels like he can get his penalty removed. So yeah, lap 24 of 29. We've gone through the first sector on lap 24, and I think it's now a matter of time before Nisev is through on Pablos. We went into this race with high hopes that we would have a different race winner apart from the 2 we've already had. But you've got to tend to think if Nisev gets that clean air, he might just start away to sail off. He's got to pull 3 seconds. He's already got a second to Michael Louise. So, no, he's got 6 tenths, sorry. But when he gets by, I reckon it'll actually be 6 tenths. Look how close he gets. Even the dirty air can't stop the charge of the V-Cub. Round turn 15, round towards turn 16 we go once again. Slow in, fast out. No, he chooses fast in and fast and slightly slower out actually. But once again, it's game on towards turn number 1, and it's normally been between Pablos and Gordon. But now it's Pablos v Nisev. That's towards turn 1 we go, and through into the race lead goes the V-Car. Pablos to try to break late, but the medium tyres just offer so much more grip. It is powerless to defend against the V-Car, but Nisev takes the lead in Qatar with 5 to go. And will he now just start to sail off into the distance, or will Pablos be able to keep with him? Already got a 6-tenth gap between the top 2 there. Michael Louise needs to pick up the pace, but those tyres will be dying already on that Williams. He's got a lap older tyre than Pablos and a couple laps older than Gordon. Ooga booga. Cheers, Henry Dimes. So, already a second pulled by Nisev there, and look at the gap. You see some marbles now being picked up by the McLaren, and it seems to be, and yeah, he's already got it. We're going to switch to leader for the remainder of this, for the most part of this race, until we know for sure. But yeah, that gap 3 seconds, and it seems to be it's going to be once again Nisev winning out in Qatar, unless he gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits. He's just got to keep it nice and tidy though as we go towards turn 16 for the 25th time, and down the main straight for the 26th time here in Qatar, as Gordon is through on Michael Louise, and Michael Louise is actually into the box here for a late pit stop. He's going to be behind Arrow. He's going to be behind Kevin Cow. His pure goal here is ahead of Pirates Kings. He's going for a set of the soft tyres. Brand new softs, it looks like. But that was quite the unexpected change for Michael Louise. And it's now over to Gordon if he is able to keep with them. It is now in the hands of Gordon to win this race. Michael Louise comes out actually quite the way away from Pirates Kings and just ahead of Ollie in the Mercedes there. Lap 26 or 29 to go. 4 to go here in Qatar. I'm going to put the leader thing back on. That gap is bobbling around the 3 seconds. It's just gone over 3 seconds. And now it's going to go back up to 3.1. So now maybe And it says maybe she's locked in a little bit more and is now eking out that gap once more. I'm still oblivious to why Michael Louise did come into the pit lane. But I've got no idea whatsoever. Maybe a puncture? Who knows? Considering the tyre age, I wouldn't have been surprised. Down the main straight we go. Once again, absolutely no battery left for either of the top two. Down towards turn number 1 we go once again. That gap is back under 3 seconds. This will go to the line here. 2.7 seconds is the gap as we go through turns 1 and turn 2. 2.5 seconds now is the gap, and Gordon might actually be able to pick up some DRS soon from the McLaren of Pablos here. I'm going to take the time page away from here. Let's have a look at the front and rear tyres. Starting to pick up marbles like the McLaren is as well, but I say that, look how much worse that front left tyre has got on the McLaren. Puncture might be awaiting for Pablos, and if I'm not wrong, Himmy Dimes, if you can correct me here, that is, you've got a puncture on your front left as well, if I'm not mistaken. Damn. Hard luck out there. But the gap is 2.7 seconds between the top 3 here. We know for sure Gordon's going to get P2, but we don't know for sure if Gordon is going to be getting P1, but it seems very likely that it's going to. Gap is now 2.3 seconds. He's going to be getting DRS from the McLaren driver. How hard will Pablos try and defend this? We're going around the final corner to go on to the penultimate lap. Yeah, that's his first pit stop. Was that his first pit stop? If you're on about Michael Louise, no, it wasn't his first pit stop. That's his second pit stop of the race. But Gordon's gaining on the McLaren. And the McLaren's looking to defend this, running outside. Gordon will go, and will the McLaren concede the place? Yes, he will. Late on the brakes goes Gordon, and into the lead of the race goes Gordon. And maybe it's looking good now. Maybe the Haas driver is there to try and get his first win of the season, and his first win in a little while. But he's got still a lap and a half to negotiate. Make sure you don't pick up a track limit penalty. Lap 28 to 29. People were saying in this race, they just hope that it's not a repetition of one of the 2 race winners we've had. As it stands at the moment, the Sev on track will win, but as it stands at this moment in time, due to the 3-second penalty that Gordon has got, he will be your race winner here in Qatar today. Recharging that battery pack very nicely indeed. He's got more battery than the Sev, so it is all just straight raw pace between the pair of them. Gap is 1.7 seconds around this final sector for the penultimate time in this Grand Prix. Pablos going a bit wider there than he would have ideally wanted. He's now just got maybe just try and focus on nursing that front left home. Look how much more nicer that front left tyre looks compared to the 2 of them. Gap back up to 1.9 seconds. We're on to the final lap of this race. Pablos hasn't got any battery to fight it with. So this is now, Pablos won't be close enough. It's now Gordon v. Nisev for the race win here in Qatar this evening. 1.6 seconds is the gap. Round turn 1 for the final time. Round turn 2 for the final time. This is a quali lap on dead tyres. Towards turn number 4 and turn number 5 we go. Pablos will be just sitting there, but it is all about how fast can Gordon go, how fast can this Sev go. He's got to gain a second within the next 10 corners here. He's got to gain 1.2 seconds now if he is to do so, but it's not looking likely whatsoever. Round turn 8, round turn number 9, and then towards turn number 10 we go with the Haas. It has been a long while since he was last victorious in WHF. Gordon, who is high on the tally charts on the all-time victory list. The Haas driver came into the season looking for glory, isn't able to get glory. The last time that Gordon had won was the finale in this track last season. Qatar, the Qatar King rounds the final corner, and under the floodlight for the first time this season, it's not a Red Bull powered car winning. Gordon wins the Qatar Grand Prix ahead of the Sev. Pablos in third for the second race running, but it's Gordon on top for the second race running in Qatar. 2 Qatar wins in a row. Arrow out of the final corner. This will be tied between the pair of them. As we now go over the line between the pair of them, I think it's just going to be Kevin Cow in 4th. WH Arrow will finish in 5th. Payot's King over the line will finish in 6th behind. Will finish in 7th, sorry, behind Michael Louise due to the penalty. Ollie in 8th. And then it's going to be Mallard in 10th due to his 9-second. Ty Clear will get a top 9. Thori will finish in 11th. And then Hitman, obviously, he wasn't here because he wasn't meant to be here. Tori braking very drastically for a corner, which is pretty much just a little lift. But it is your race winner, the Haas of Gordon. JG is back on the top step in WHF. Onto the podium we go with JG and Gordon taking his first victory since the season finale in Qatar last season. He's done it once more in Qatar. He is truly the king of the desert in Losail. The Haas driver raised the trophy high in pride. The British driver back on the top step. First time it's not an American or Norwegian on the top step. The champagne, the fishy stuff being sprayed amongst the drivers. And we can crown ourselves a new winner this season. For the first time, their name isn't Nisev or Cookie. So here are your race results. Here this evening, Gordon wins ahead of Nisev, Pavlos in 3rd, Kevin Cow 4th, Arrow 5th, Michael Louise in 6th, Payok 7th, Ollie 8th, Ty Clear in 9th, Mallard 10th, Tori in 11th, Hossein Men 12th, and then your DNF, so I'm gonna say he was the DNF. Hitman, Dimes, and Oven Chips. They were your bottom 3 in today's Grand Prix. But thank you all for joining me this evening. My name is Harrison. I'll see you all for the next one. Ciao, adios.